Good evening. The first item on the business is to accept the minutes of our March 21st meeting. Y'all had a chance to read them?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Was Nat's email corrections included in here? He sent an email concerning the minutes. Or is that something else I'm thinking of?
No.
Yes, because we did make those corrections. Right?
I don't recall that.
Yeah, he sent an email almost immediately after you sent it out. And you said that you followed up with an email saying you would incorporate it. As I
Yeah, I meant to print that out and bring with me, and I
I
forgot.
don't remember that.
Yeah. Because, but it was a while ago, because you prepared these, you usually get these out within about a week.
Well, it's got here, you mean on the 20th.
On the 21st
Okay,
of
he
February?
made corrections on February meeting.
Was the February
Yeah.
one? Okay, it's February one.
Oh, that's, because there was issues associated with who made the motions and who seconded,
Right.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, those were corrected last time.
Yeah, that was the February one, not this one.
All right, do I hear a motion to accept the minutes, or?
So moved?
Seconded.
Okay, Phil's made the motion to accept the minutes, Tom's has made the second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I wasn't here.
Aye.
That's the March one, right? So I wasn't here, so I don't vote.
Okay, we have two public hearings tonight. One is New Way Construction Corporation, and the other one is Guaranteed Builders Incorporated on behalf of Gregory Maffey. Both of these are on Havel Street. Do we have any correspondence that we need to take up now?
From other departments?
Huh?
Other correspondence, Mark?
No, okay.
No.
Okay. Okay, who's here from New Way?
Nobody.
Anybody else?
Nobody.
So,
Oh, that's Bill.
Hmm?
That's Bill. Who's on first? Yeah, that's Bill.
Hmm?
That's Bill Linehan.
Okay,
it's for variance, right?
we don't do variances.
No, no.
All right. The other one was scheduled for 7:30.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, we'll give him 5 more minutes, see if he shows up.
Yeah, well, he's not due to 7:15, so.
Tom,
Yeah,
a copy of the check.
I see.
That's the only thing that I was able to get.
Mm.
Now, let's take up the office printer purchase.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That we can deal with.
Okay.
Okay. What you got for us?
And near the end of your packet, I printed out the paperwork on the cash for clunkers. And I also have copies of emails from Tom. Personally, I don't think the cash for clunkers is worth it.
Does, I don't even think I don't even think ours is eligible, to be honest with you. The way I read the ad, while it appears to say, you
I don't
know,
have what you
any
got.
brand, any model,
Very back, Don, in the very back.
Way back here.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got the
It's
list.
probably simpler to go right to like Staples and just get it.
Well, that's what Tom had suggested originally,
Yeah,
and then this came up on the computer from W.B. Mason.
Yeah, but-
Promotion.
yeah, the promotion is they want you to buy it, and then when you finally do all the shipping back and all that, and they probably say you're not qualified, but at least, you know, you bought it, then you're stuck with
I mean, it was definitely worth looking into.
it. Yeah.
Is our printer even on this list?
Well, see, now, I understood that listing were the printers that you had to purchase. Those were the types of printers that you had to purchase in order to
You had to purchase it first.
turn in your old ones. And I looked at a few of those, and oh my goodness. Some $3,000, floor models.
With you?
Purchase a new HP printer.
So it's up to you. What do you do?
See, I think, because best case, our unit, which I don't believe is available, I think you're right, these are products that you can purchase this trade-in and rebate amount if you purchase certain printers, which we weren't gonna buy one of those printers, because you're right, they're thousands of dollars.
Oh, no, goodness, they're so expensive. And then the rebates on some of those very expensive, it just doesn't seem,
Right.
It just doesn't seem worth it.
$50, $100.
It wasn't any more than we can obtain by just being a smart shopper, and the unit that I originally found is only $400 in the first place.
right? Yeah.
We can shop that either from them or anybody else, and find, 10 to 20% off anyhow.
Well, we're not gonna have to pay sales tax.
Right.
There's no shipping fee.
Can we buy from any vendor? We're not stuck to deal with Mason,
No.
because the
No.
town deals with Mason, right?
Right,
No.
we can buy from,
Well, maybe what we can do is, if it's agreeable with the rest of you, is I'll meet Lise and we'll go down to Staples and we'll actually physically look at some of these, because I have some experience with these all-in-ones, but this happens to be a Brother, not an HP. HP makes them too. We can take a run down there and see what they have, and physically, because they have a lot. And purchase either, one online because perhaps it's cheaper, or whatever, and do it that way if you want.
all right. You,
Well, I know, I have a Brother, okay, it's a cheap one,
Mhm.
it's an all-in-one,
Yeah.
cheap, it's a workforce, that's what it is, it's a
Mhm.
workforce. It's the noisiest thing you ever had.
Yeah, that's another variable. I have an Epson now that I love, and it's great, and it's in this price range, maybe a little bit less even, and it would certainly be suitable. It's a little bit noisy, but we don't produce hundreds and hundreds of pages of documents, so I mean
it doesn't matter to me, Tom, it's whatever you wanna get is fine with me,
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It's-
Like,
as long as it works.
I think it'll be
I
useful.
just want to get a
That's all.
quality machine.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Something that'll
I
last.
get a piece of
And
junk.
sometimes you're talking less than $100 and you get a piece of junk.
Right.
Right. Now, Jared had suggested, network capability.
Yep. Most of these units have network capability.
And perhaps the more important thing to look at is the cost of the toner for it.
Right, the
The
cartridges.
That's one difference between dealing with a laser unit like this
And the inkjet.
and an inkjet.
Right.
You're gonna get a lot more copies out of a laser toner cartridge, but an individual cartridge can run between $80 and about $150.
Right, yeah.
Whereas the inkjet cartridges are typically $25 to $40. Even the heavy duty ones that have extended consumption capability. So And again, we don't, you know,
And sometimes too, though, you have to get, depending on the permit, you have to get 4 or 5 of those $30, $40, $50 cartridges, so,
oh, absolutely.
you know, to weigh the,
Yeah,
I don't know.
again, it's,
You can't buy black and white anymore, can you?
yeah, you can buy
Oh, yeah.
monochrome.
Yeah.
Sure. I think the nice thing about a color, which I think is valuable personally, is for the preparation of certain documents, particularly where we may be looking at plot plans and need to clearly delineate lot lines or structures or other items on a property. Color
Right.
is far superior.
Right.
So if she has to produce something for us that
definitely.
can be done in color, it's much easier for us to evaluate than black and white.
All right, so we need, so would you like to go look at them, Tom? And
Yeah, I'd be willing to. I'd be willing to
do
connect
that,
with Lisa
see
and
what
we
you
could
come
run
up
down.
with, bring
Yeah,
'em, yeah.
I mean, we've authorized her to make the purchase, I guess, right? So she can do that.
Yes.
Last month, yeah.
Right, so, you know, I haven't looked at them recently, but I'm sure we can find some that would be fine.
All right. Yeah, we've authorized her to purchase it, but we haven't, I don't know whether we have to pay for it and then submit the voucher for it.
You have any sense?
I would think that that's what you have to do.
No, I don't think it's fair to have her go out and buy it.
No, absolutely not. Well, let's check with our other internal resource for everything. Katrina?
Well, I spoke with Amy, and Amy says just open up an account at Staples.
In the name of the ZBA?
Yes.
Hmm.
Because she told me that there are other departments within the town that have Staples accounts as well as WB Mason.
Okay, let's then, we'll identify the specific unit we're gonna buy, and then while we're there, if you can open the account, we'll open the account, and then you can advise.
Why don't you just buy it?
Will they open it? Will they open it and then bill the town? Is that what that?
Yes.
Oh, well, then why don't we do that? Why do any of us have to
Just-
float it?
That's it, just go and do it, get it done.
You know, if we can do that, we'll figure it out. That's fine. Worst case, we'll do that. We'll purchase and submit an invoice. That's all.
Okay.
Mhm.
Travel expenses to the Danvers will probably be about $600, you figure.
At
Okay.
least.
Well, no bill, huh?
Well, no bill.
I'm a little surprised.
Who got Linehan's number?
It's in the inside of his file.
Why don't you just start the other one?
All right. Is that Linda's? I can't see it.
Yeah, no way.
Okay, up top, right, yellow. I'm sorry, let me reach.
Okay, wait a minute.
Phone 948.
This cover document says a public hearing will be at 7:45.
Oh, maybe that's.
Does he think it's 7:45?
Oh,
He might.
As opposed to 7:15? The agenda says 7:15, but this document says
Okay.
7:45.
Okay.
I wonder if he's thinking 7:45,
Okay.
which would account for
All
absence.
right.
So why don't we go ahead and,
Okay.
that's the other one?
why don't we start, yeah, because that one says
Go ahead, where
7:30,
you going?
which was correct.
The general line.
Okay, let's do that. Everybody here from,
Guaranteed builders?
right, Guaranteed Builders?
Yes. Mr. Matthews here also.
All right. I've got to open this hearing. Before I even open the hearing, I want you to know that we are a 5-member board. And with a 5-member board, you can have one dissenting vote and still pass. We only have 4 tonight, which means we'll have to have 4 affirmative votes to pass. You have the right to ask for continuance to next month, or we can go with the 4. It's up to you, but you have the right to.
You look like reasonable gentlemen. I think we can probably come to a full member board, or do we have to ask for the continuance now, or before the vote, or
Yes.
Mm.
Yes,
Which?
before we even open hearing.
before you open the hearing?
Right.
You have to get all 4 votes here, so.
There are some issues,
Okay.
so I would be advised to have you continue it. It would be in your best interest to continue it.
Okay. That's what you did, then.
Okay.
Are we gonna know what the issues are before the meeting? or?
No, they can't really discuss them until the next, when they open the meeting,
Can't
the
discuss it.
next time.
Right, since it's a public hearing, we're not at liberty to discuss
Right.
any matters that might relate to the actual application out of the public context. The chairman is being candid with you about your application in an effort to give you the benefit of the doubt and the best opportunity to have your application approved.
Continue to what date and what time?
Hmm?
Continue to what date and what time?
It will be May,
I think it's May
It's the third Thursday.
3rd Thursday, May 16th.
Would you suggest that I have an
May
attorney
16th.
here, or is it?
No.
Okay. Okay.
May 16th.
At what time?
What are you gonna do, 7:15?
that will be 7:15.
11:15.
Thanks for your time. See you.
Okay.
All right.
Or you ought to tell the people that just come in case they're here for that.
Right. The 2 folks that have come for the MAPI hearing is continued to next week. Next month.
Next month,
Next month.
next month.
At 7:15.
Thank you.
Excuse me, when next month?
May 16th.
May 16th, 7:15.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, those are good.
I apologize, I made a typo on
Where's the typo?
the time.
Yeah, but which is which one?
7:45.
Well, yeah, I mean, Bill got, in other words, the agenda. The agenda is the typo. Because the bill must have this information.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Right, yeah.
Presumably you folks are here for New Way,
You're here
correct?
for
That's
New
right.
Way? Okay.
Those guys here for. What case you here for, sir?
New Way?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. That hearing's scheduled for 7:45.
I'm gonna take a recess, you can shut off the TV.
Yeah.
Take a recess.
Yep. Okay. Okay, let me open the hearing first. Then we'll. Public hearing for case number 13-01 from New Way Construction Corporation, William Linehan, for a variance at 244 Haverhill Street is now open. Public hearing will proceed in an orderly fashion. They ask for cooperation in the following procedure. Everyone present will be given an opportunity to be heard after the application is presented and the board members have asked questions. The secretary will be recording what is said. Therefore, when you address the board, begin by stating your name and address. Speak slowly and clearly. Only one person will be allowed to speak at a time. When any members of the board have any interest in this property or issue or stand to gain or lose any financial benefit or result of the outcome of this hearing. If so, speak now. Hearing none, will continue. Public notice of this application was posted in Town Hall, sent to a certified list of parties of interest, and was published in the Town Common on April 10th, 2013, and April 17th, 2013, and reads as follows. A public hearing will be held at the Town Hall, Annex 39 Central Street on Thursday, 4/18/2013 at 7:45 p.m. to act on an application received from New Way Construction Corporation, 244 Haverhill Street, Raleigh, Mass. Applicant is requested a variance under section 4.1 from the Board of Appeals to continue use of the land and structures as an office building, service garage, and retail store located at 244 Haverhill Street, Raleigh, Mass. The property is in the residential district and is shown in Assessors Map 14, Lot 5. Interested parties are invited to attend the hearing and be heard on matters relevant to the application. Copies of the application are on file with the Board of Appeals and may be reviewed in the ZBA office during posted business hours. The purpose of this hearing is for the board to hear and consider the pertinent facts relating to the application and to approve with conditions or deny before hearing from the public. The applicant will be allowed to present their case, and then board members will be allowed to ask questions or comment. The applicant now has the floor. So Bill, why don't you come on up here? Before I do that, I neglected to do it before. We're a 5-member board. And we only have 4 members tonight. You have to have 4 yes votes in order to pass. You have to have a unanimous decision because of 4. You have the option to continue it to next month, or
No, I mean,
we can continue the hearing.
right, yeah, we can continue, India.
Okay. All right. Okay, you got the floor, tell us. Why don't you start by telling us where I know the history pretty much,
Right,
and Dave does.
yep,
But I don't think Tom does completely,
Right.
and Phil doesn't know anything
Right.
about it. So give us some history
Yep.
as to, you bought that property from Case Equipment?
yes, back when the Case Equipment Company went bankrupt back in, I don't know, it was 94 or 92, and I had owned Midway Land Contractors at the time, and we ran there, after 25 years of running Midway, I sold Midway to one of my employees. And he took the building over, leased it from me. He ran it, I believe, for 10 years after I had sold Midway, but I still own the property. And he continued to grow doing work for the gas and electric company and basically outgrew the spot. So they moved up, they built a new building in Seabrook, New Hampshire. So the building's basically been vacant for a year and a half now. We went in, did some cleaning up in between when we're not working on construction projects. I actually own a small construction company, my son and I. And I have probably 4 or 5 pieces of equipment. The fire department has showed interest in buying the property off me. I've been talking with the fire department for about, I'd say, approximately a year. And I told them that I would work with them. If they can pull it off, I will work with them. But in the meantime, if I don't get the permit renewed, I believe after 2 years, you lose your, whatever it is, credibility or whatever the word would be to maintain a business there. So in the meantime, I probably get 2 calls a month on people interested in buying the building. But I did talk to Bob Snow, and I told him, I'm in no rush. I mean, if the fire department, if it does work out, I'll work with them. If it doesn't work out, it wouldn't be fair to me to try to lease it to somebody and then, if a year from now, kick them out.
Mhm.
So in the meantime, I want to get it so I can keep my small business there. Basically, what you see now is about what it'll be, because I'm working in Malta, New York, right now. We're working on a 5-mile pipeline out there. Actually, Saturday, we were out there and a guy got killed, so the job shut down. But I was going to come back from Malta this afternoon for the meeting and then go back out, but, I got to go back out probably next week. So the activity that I want to keep the right to be able to sell bark mulch, sell sand. I don't plan on doing it, but I don't want to, that's what I had before. I don't want to not be able to, but if we're working out in New York, it's just me and my son. He's with me too.
Mhm.
So that's basically what I'm here for.
Okay. But you are operating out of that building,
Yes, yeah,
and you're doing that now.
yeah,
I
well.
have seen some activity.
Yeah. This winter we've been in cleaning, and we have a trailer parked outside. And I also have a place in Exeter, New Hampshire. But
Okay. Okay. The selectman told you, I understand the selectman told you to get your permit renewed.
yes, they advised it.
They advised
Yeah,
that you get it.
so not to lose whatever the variance would be, or I believe if the building goes 2 years without
Mhm.
a business in there, reverts back to.
Yeah, but you're in there.
Right.
But you're in there now at a limited basis.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mr. Chairman, maybe you want to read the comments that received from other boards on this. Because I think, Bill, part of the question, I think the point that you're addressing is the issue of abandonment. And technically speaking, when abandonment is demonstrated, that's the 2-year window.
Mhm.
When a prior non-conforming use does not exist for 2 years, it's considered abandoned. And then that non-conforming use is lost,
Mhm.
and it reverts back to the most recent prior conforming use. Now, I was under the impression, we have feedback which the chairman will read, but in our review, unless there's been a 2-year absence of any activity at the site, you're not going to forego it. So technically speaking, as long as you could document, which is why we had Lisa ask you for, some evidence
Yeah.
of when, I forget the gentleman's name.
Bob Ring?
Yeah,
Yeah.
when Bob last actually was there.
Right,
And that's, I mean, we need to discuss that, but that's not even 2 years ago.
right,
So you can technically abandon up to 1 year, 11 months, and 29 days and still reactivate, and you have it abandoned under the law.
mm-hmm,
So we're a little bit at a question, I think, what the chairman is saying, because there's no violation of that to date. I thought there was another decision we had that had more details on this. Because I remember when we came for the clarification,
Yeah.
we were very specific about the vehicles, the number of vehicles, the amount of vehicles,
Right.
the type of vehicles,
Right.
when they could park, when
Right.
they could leave. Very detailed. I don't see that
There's
decision
two
here.
decisions attached.
Yeah, but it wasn't the
that was
earlier-
back, you mean, when, Midway,
Yeah.
back, yeah.
It was under
Right,
Midway.
That was the
right,
last time.
Right, I remember that,
Yeah, and see, I don't see
You had to
that.
start at 7 and all that.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
see
we
that
knew
in that last decision. Because
I know I have a copy back at, my office for that last decision.
yeah, I know, because we
It
have,
was like the hours that you could sell the bark mulch, and the trucks are gonna be parked on the left side,
Right.
Yeah,
it was very detailed.
yeah, I do have that.
Because we, at that point in time, there was a lot of frustration by abutters
Right,
about the relative activity generated by the growth of Bob's business.
yeah,
And frankly, the board felt that you and Bob came in, and I know we worked, and I know this gentleman was also involved at the time, he's still in the butter. And there was a lot of input, and I think we drafted something
Yep.
that you guys found
Yep.
agreeable and they felt better about, recognizing that perhaps no decision is 100% perfect for either
right,
side,
right,
but I think it was agreeable. That's what I don't see, but that was very specific
yep,
about what you could do, couldn't do.
Right.
It also required you to maintain some of the conditions that were placed by the earlier decisions.
right.
And I don't know where that decision is. Because the most recent decision we have here tonight is '05. And I know, my recollection,
It's probably an 08 or something.
I was gonna say, because I crafted that last decision,
There's two,
and I didn't come on until
There's no one for
05 or
Right.
06.
Right.
So,
2008, it should be
I
up
think-
there.
08, yeah, it should be there.
It was
I know I have a
2008.
copy
Yeah.
in my files, but I don't have it with me tonight.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's when we
fine.
had all the neighbors come in,
Right.
and we discussed what time they would
Right.
start up the machines in the
Right.
morning.
Right,
Right,
You
it
know,
had to do with the Jake
Back a
Briggs
kid
and
on
all
the
that kind of
corner
stuff.
that just sold his house.
Greenwood, Joe
Greenwood, he
Greenwood.
was-
Right.
Did he move up to New Hampshire, you know?
I don't know where he moved to.
Okay, because I knew he had work
Working
up
in
there.
Maine.
Oh, Maine now?
He was working in Maine.
Okay, I knew he had work that took him out of the area a lot, so I thought he moved. Joe?
Okay, all right, let's,
Was that who it is?
I have two letters here, one's from the Conservation Commission and one from Ken Ward and Katrina O'Leary, Town Planner. They both signed this letter. The first one is from the Conservation Commission. To Donald Thurston, Chairman, Zoning Board of Appeals, from Brent Daislip, Conservation Agent. Variance 1301, 244 Hazel Street, map 14, parcel 9, lot 1, 36, New Way Construction Corporation. Chairman Thurston, members of the Zoning Board of Appeals, the Conservation Commission has reviewed the application submittals and offers the following comments. The Conservation Department has no objections to the proposed activities. The applicant should be advised of the recent adoption of the town of a stormwater management and erosion control bylaw. Their site appears to lack any BMPs for control of stormwater generated by the large impervious front parking lot and the rear packed gravel yard, which may experience uncontrolled discharge of stormwater to abutting properties or traveled rights of way. Thank you for your consideration. Please advise me if I may have any further assistance. Right. And this is from Ken and Katrina. The Zoning Board of Appeals has asked the building inspector, and the town planner to review the application for New Way Construction Corporation located 244 Haverhill Street. Please accept the following observations on behalf of the town planner and the building inspector. The applicant is for a variance for the continued use of land and structures as an office building, service garage, and retail store. Mass General Laws, Chapter 48, Section 10 states that use variances must be expressly authorized in the town's zoning bylaw. Raleigh does not expressly allow use variances, therefore they are not allowed. Neither a variance nor a special permit is necessary, as far as I know, for a continued use which is already protected by Mass General Laws 48, Section 6, pre-existing non-conforming uses, and which has not changed in any way. The right to continue a non-conforming use or structure is not personal to the owner or occupant on the date when the zoning change first became applicable. Rather, the protections afforded by Section 6 of the Zoning Act relate to the non-conforming use or structure. Therefore, a change of tenants would not require a finding from the zoning board of appeals unless the new tenants intend to change the protected use in some way. ZBA decision 94-7 and A607 have already determined the type and extent of the non-conforming uses that are protected on this lot. If the intent of this application is to determine whether any or all uses have been abandoned, I believe the applicant need only provide proof that all protected non-conforming uses have not been discontinued for a period of 2 years or more. However, if more than 2 years has passed since the use have been active, the uses shall not be reestablished according to Section 5.1.1 of the zoning bylaw. In the case of abandonment, the owner does not have the ability to obtain a variance because, as mentioned earlier, the town does not grant use variances. So as far as the building department is concerned, and the town planner, is you don't have any problem. But the building inspector, the Board of Selectmen wanted you to get your permit renewed. All right, so
Who issues the permit? We don't do.
No, I don't think we have to do anything.
No, it doesn't make sense.
I want to hear from.
Yeah, let's
some
hear
of
from the
butters.
butters that are interested.
Okay, I'll let you go first.
Well, I can
State-
tell you
state-
since,
state-
Nico Brancaleone, 14 Gerzac Lane, Raleigh, Mass. I know before we had that meeting, I think in '08, things were pretty bad there. And then, as a result of the meeting in '08, things, the noise was reduced quite a bit. And then after, and then the last couple of years, it's been great since no one's really been in there. But, I just want to make sure that it doesn't go back to pre-2008 noise and all that.
Yeah.
Because that was awful when they were, they were sifting loom back there and everything, so, I mean, I just want to make sure it doesn't get worse again.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I've run one big company, and I more or less do this, it's me and my son, and I really don't even need a building that big, but I own it. And like I say, right now I'm working in Malta, New York, supposed to be there for 5 months. Basically how it is now is, how it is. I mean,
we only hear trucks once in a while right now, and
Right.
I'm sure all the butters feel okay with what's going on now.
right, I only have one dump truck.
Right.
And usually I park it, inside. I have an excavator that's usually on the job. I have 2 backhoes, one's up in New Hampshire, and I got a cat skid steer. I mean, and a couple of pickups, which we take home.
Is all that stuff at this point, Bill, if it's there, would it actually all go in the building?
Yeah, I could
Yeah, it
actually,
could.
I could actually put everything, I could even put the flatbed trailer in the building too,
That's all trailerable stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah, it's, you know, and I don't, like I say, plan on getting any bigger, you know, I'm happy, you know, the way it is. And that's why I say, I mean, even as far as selling the bark mulch and the screen loam, I mean, there's a possibility that someday I may do that, but, I mean, you can't be out on a pipeline job, you know,
Right.
and, you know, I don't plan on having anybody there, so. That's basically,
Yeah, I mean,
Folks, what are your
Richard Bevel
thoughts?
at 10 Trowbridge Circle, and we have the same concerns as this gentleman here is up in 2008, and our concern now is that there may be a transfer of the property. And the way things are now, it's fine. Up until 2008, we are behind the property. Diesel fuel, diesel's running all day long, the dumps being dropped at 6 a.m., loan screening going on. It was well beyond an office, a place to sell sand, and there was a land construction business that was being run back there, and it was just miserable for all the people that lived there. It was difficult for, as far as the valuation of our property, it was certainly going to be difficult to sell property with that kind of circumstance behind us, and so that's something that we wouldn't want to see repeated, so.
Well, you know, I
Add to
think,
your husband's comments?
I'm Elaine O'Neill at 10 Trowbridge Circle. I agree with my husband. And yeah, and we all, sounds like
you
we
have
all-
a good night.
yeah. No,
It seems like we all share the same concerns, is that we don't want it to go back to the bad old days, and we'd love to have something to happen to make sure that that would be guaranteed that that would never happen.
Right,
Whether that's possible, I don't know. But, you know, I would hate to see the property be sold to another company that decided to use this great setup to do the same kind of thing that we suffered through for years,
right. I have been,
if they have the right.
I have been,
They
you
do.
know, approached by paving companies to buy it, other construction companies, a boat dealership, and like I say, as of right now, I've kind of told them all that, you know, I'm kind of waiting to see if the fire department does decide that that's what they want to do, is put the fire station in there. In the meantime, like I say, it's how the noise you hear now is about the noise you'll be hearing this season, you know, so.
Well, I think there was a study anyway that was the best place for a fire department. wasn't it?
Yeah.
It must be.
I think it's
Selectmen are
the
just
fun-
looking for the funding.
Seeing if they can get the funding, I think that's,
Yeah, well, there's a number of, I happen to sit on the committee for the town that's exploring that option. And there are a number of questions, though there's a very favorable feeling towards the property.
Right.
Some extensive work was done looking throughout the town for properties that might be suitable. And Mr. Linehan's property does meet a lot of the criteria that the committee had looked at closely. But there still are some important issues that need to be explored before the town could go forward, in addition to, you know, the fact that it involves not only an expenditure for a property, and it was determined we probably could not use the existing building, certainly not the front one, so that would have to be raised, and that would be changed. As a point of information, anytime a municipality elects to purchase a property, none of us really have much say about what goes on that property. It's a municipal acquisition, and if the municipality wants to do it, and you happen to live near there, you sort of have to grin and bear with it. But that's to your point, that's a discussion matter. As it relates to property going back to prior to 2008, you know, everything that was written in that decision, you know, restricts Bill and that property. If anyone came in there and wanted to change that use to a different non-conforming use, it would all have to come back in front of here, and you'd all have an opportunity to say, wait a minute, boats are nice, but I don't like the trucks that pull the boats there because the water's too far away. It's not like we're dealing with a dock, or whatever the case is. But I think, as far as my understanding is, he's in his full rights, and, you know, we can hold him to the existing decision, but you know, for those of you that were there, both of you were there, you know, there were typically a dozen plus pickups from workers in the front. There were, you know, a half dozen trailers and heavy gear and equipment in the back. You know, we explored that property. We walked the property with Bill and Bob Ring when we reviewed it. The sound ending that was associated with the berms in the back, all those kinds of things that would have more impact on you folks, you know, were reviewed. And right now, there's really no abandonment bill. The permit that we issued, that was issued originally in '93, stated again in '05, and then clarified further in '08, I believe, stands. And you know, if you went to Malta and did nothing for another 6 or 7 months, you might find somebody could make a case that there was abandonment. And if that were the case, then they could say, wait a minute, nothing happened there. It's not remotely like it was. We consider it abandoned. Now, you know, doesn't mean you have to staff somebody over there, but it means right now that your permit's in full force and in effect.
Yeah.
And it would go to the new property owner.
Right.
You know, they would get those same rights if they want to change it.
Right.
They will have to come back before us.
See, I went into business when I was 19, and I started digging for the gas company with one backhoe on a truck, and it grew, and I got up to like 40 guys, and I had 6 crews. Well, the gas companies kept getting bought out, and now they're huge. They brought me in, they said, look, unless you can give us 15 crews minimum, you know, we're not gonna let you work for us no more. So I had the opportunity to sell that company to one of the guys that worked for me, and they built it up. And now, I mean, they're getting to the point where the company that I dig for now, they have 400 employees. You know, we used to, if I worked in Haverhill, Mass, I thought that was a long ways. Now, you know, you work in Malta, New York. So I'm not going back to that. You know, I'm very happy what I do. I go out and I dig for the guys who have the major contracts for the gas company. And if they have work, we work. If they don't have work, I own a hockey rink up in New Hampshire. So I have plenty of things I can always do. So, but you can be assured that the size of it is, when it was Midway, will not be that size now.
And we would advise butters that, you know, the way it works is if you found any situation at any point in time that you thought was a violation, put it in writing and submit it to the building inspector. And the building inspector will investigate it, and if he feels there's an issue of a violation, he'll be in touch. But if it's just conversation, you know, all we have is what he's got, and Bill can continue to work under that decision. So you always have that right, even if Bill does sell the property at some point in time, excluding the town as a purchaser. But fire department's a fairly quiet place anyhow.
Unless it's a fire.
It's the only time you know they're there. But it might be nice to have it that close in case you needed it.
Good and bad, yeah.
But I don't know if there's...
I don't even know why I'm here.
If he sells the property to another contractor, they're gonna have to come here anyway.
Right.
Right.
I'm in no rush to sell it. I mean,
Can we get on a list to be notified? It's hard for us to find.
You might... You're a neighbor, I would say, do me a favor, have your broker call us. You know, I mean, we would only notify you, again, you're not directly within the context of a butter by definition, which is why you didn't learn this, but your astuteness brought you aware of the meeting, the presence of the meeting. He's not far, leave a note for him.
I'm in a direct and butter. I don't know if you guys are, but you can always give me your information.
Yeah, he's right on the corner.
Thank you.
He will comes out.
Right.
That's
I do
easy.
have one question. If there's like, I mean, it's supposed to be, you know, retail space, office space, and garage. Does he need to like meet all of those requirements all the time to keep his variance, or say he's not selling sand or mulch, does that part go away after 2 years since he's not using that? How does that work?
I would say, he's a contractor,
Right.
and that is part of his business. I mean, it's like I own a machine shop. 90% of what I do is out of aluminum. Once in a while, I'll do some stainless steel. But that's part of the machine shop. And the bark mulch and everything is all part of his contracting business. And he may not be selling any this year, but he might not want to sell some next year, if he's still there. So I would say that what was there and the conditions under the last decision that we made will hold true to anybody that works there.
So I think the answer to your question is, no, you don't have to actively participate on a day-to-day basis with a particular activity in order for it to still be valid. Typically, when we've looked at situations of abandonment of a business, it's not because, you know, the new yogurt shop sold iced tea for 2 years, then all of a sudden it said, we're not making any money selling that, we're going to drop it. And now it's not really the way it was originally. What we're really looking for is almost the way it seems now, is nobody's there. I mean, I drive by there regularly, being on the other side of town, and I never see anything. And having been on this other committee, you know, we've had some interaction with Bill, we've had some other contact about the site. You know, I never see, I wonder, like, you know, rarely do I see the gate open to go to the back. I never see anything there, so it's got to be better. I mean, that's an ideal environment, you know, as a abutter near a business construction. And certainly to me, it doesn't sound like he has many plans to do much more than what it is, and he could add. And as I say, there is a decision that's not here that limits very specifically what he could do there. But he probably could, technically speaking, double the scope of this business right now and be well below what those guidelines were. It doesn't sound like he wants to do that. Doesn't mean he won't, doesn't mean that his son wouldn't, but he still has the ability to do that in that location with the current permit that's been granted there, but it just doesn't sound like it's going to happen. But again, at any point in time, you know, put it on the table. We're glad to see you here tonight. You know, this is what it's about.
I don't think he's too far from retirement either.
No,
I think he'd rather do this.
58 now. I was almost ready to retire Saturday, I'll tell you, when that kid got killed.
Yeah, man.
It was horrible.
Wow.
Absolutely horrible. 50-foot pipe rolled off the trailer. He tried to run, the rope caught around his leg, the pipe come down top of him. I had to lift it off him with the machine. You know, went to the wake the other night. It was just, you know.
That's outside of Albany, isn't it?
Yeah, Saratoga.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, it really makes you realize how precious life is. Because,
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
half hour before that, we went and had breakfast.
Right. He was sitting next to you like we're sitting next to you now.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think there's any action the board needs to take here. I think.
No, it's just a low key of what's been going on, that's all.
Other than affirming our previous decision.
I
don't even know why we had it.
Yeah, I mean, with that we can do. Are we going to do that?
I mean,
Do we need to even?
Hmm?
You really appreciate that. Oh, you're welcome.
I don't know that we need.
Someone in there working, he goes in now and then, he doesn't have to be there every day.
I mean, there's no new decision.
No.
And we can draft a summary statement if you want.
The rest of the effect of reconfirming.
The board reviewed all of the circumstances and found that the applicant is not in violation of his current special permit and remains in full force and effect, period. And put that as a record, and we'll, you know.
All right, you wanna make that a motion?
I'll make a motion that we do that.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Bill. Take it easy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you for explaining everything. I feel much better. Sorry, Ann.
Take care.
Now we're gonna talk about the schools, is that on the air or off the air?
He doesn't have repost.
Thank you.
Well, that's what we're saying, I'm not sure it is.
It's a real tough legal question.
I don't know. I don't know what he has to. Because what's his name? Ken says,
All protection.
So we'll continue on it?
he says, I believe you need only provide proof that all protection areas have not been discontinued. Well, you know, even supposed
Like your hearing aid for Tom.
what is that?
I can't hear how.
He has such a soft.
Well, he does it on purpose, so nobody
Our webpage.
That way he can't be quoted.
What did he say?
I say we do that on purpose, that
I
way
didn't
he
say
can't
that.
be
Is that what you
quoted.
thought I
I don't know
said?
if we do zoning board.
Tell me what you thought I said. Oh, correct.
All right.
There's one more.
Rules, continue.
You can also look at our schedule too.
What you looking for?
Lewis's letter.
Yeah. Bring it down.
Okay, fine.
Oh, that, yeah, that's the Lewis's letter.
Oh, yeah, this is the. Okay, we have another request from Mr. Drucoulis regarding Marion Way for a continuance to our May 16th meeting. And the letter is as follows. Raleigh Zoning Board of Appeals, P.O. Box 275, 39 Central Street, Raleigh, Mass. 4969 regarding Marion Way project. Raleigh ZBA case number 81006. Dear Zoning Board of Appeals members, at a previous meeting of the Raleigh Zoning Board of Appeals, you requested that we submit our plans for review to the Raleigh Conservation Commission. We have finished the stormwater computations for the Marion Way project and plan to submit a notice of intent to the Raleigh Conservation Commission. Our large plotter has broken down and we are installing a new plotter. We would send our plans to an outside printer, but they want $45 per sheet for color prints of the total drainage area. Kindly continue the public hearing of this project to May 16, 2013 meeting. Any discussion? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to accept this letter?
Make a motion, we accept the letter.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Let's put that
I want you to read that.
now.
Yep. I think it's part, I think it's
Okay.
as a component of that request.
We, Tom and I met with town council and Edie Netter, our consultant on this case, last Friday, for an hour and a half, going over our concerns and what's happened and so forth. And as a result of that conversations, Tom has come up with this letter that we will be sending to Mr. DeCoulis. The board would like to express the following concerns and identify the remaining process for this hearing. Mr. DeCoulis, we have received yet another one of your requests for a continuance. In the last 12 months, we have granted 9 continuances on this case, each one due to a need by you to complete progress on reports or information previously requested by the board, or to prepare and provide information to other town boards or commissions pertaining to your application. As of this hearing, however, we are in fact at the 3-year anniversary of your application, and we feel no further along than when we first learned of and viewed your plans. Despite the generally cautious view of 40B developments held by the public, the board welcomed your application and has attempted to work with you in a constructive manner in an effort to come to some mutually agreed upon project format so that such a development could occur. We have continually tried to be sure you provide us with substantive material that will enable us to assist you in your efforts to complete this project. But as is evidenced by not only the last year in which there were 9 continuances granted, the prior 2 years of this case has only generated enormous start and stop timetables and essentially moved the project nowhere. The board has previously expressed our frustration with this process and encouraged you to comply with our request so that we could proceed with the normal process of vetting this application. Regrettably, this has not occurred and much board time has been expended trying to move the application forward. As part of this total process, we have been in regular contact with town council and our Massachusetts Housing Provided consultant in an effort to find ways to resolve the process to both of our benefits. The result of recent conversations and meetings with town council and upon the advice of our consultant, we want you to know of the process which we are now initiating as of this meeting. We will produce a final list of requests for information, reports, and other related material we deem to be necessary to complete our review of your application and present it in writing to you at what is the next continued hearing date, May 16, 2013. It will stipulate the precise form and content of the material we have previously stated is necessary to process your application and other such details as we deem necessary for you to comply with such requests and outline projected timetable going forward. We will provide you with a period of 60 days to our July 18th meeting to produce and furnish that body of information as a whole. Upon receipt of said information, we will commence a review of all that is available and work to render a decision based on the entirety of what has been provided. Our intent will be to bring this process to a conclusion in an expeditious manner, with the keystone being finality of the case. With this in mind, we accept your current request for continuance, and I will be sending you a written copy of this statement. Sincerely, Donald W. Thurston, Chairman. Very good, Tom.
That's part 1. The hard work will start. The hard work will come.
Okay, so,
Can we vote on this project at any time?
Once we have, once we determine we close the hearing.
Yeah, once we close the hearing.
And we can have any time we desire, or?
Yeah, I can tell you based upon our conversations, you know, I think we're hoping, unless something dramatic changes, that that'll happen by September.
Okay.
Everything that Judy and especially Edie Netter related to us, both having experience with Chapter 40B applications, Edie especially with a wide range of 40B apps around the state, suggested that the process that's unfolded in front of us is very, very unusual. Most of these, even Don and Dave, who have been on, and Nat, who have sat on prior cases, resolved them in periods of time far shorter than this. So it'll, you know, I think we all feel that we want to be complete with this process and not devote any more time to it. The applicant will be given an opportunity to comply with our requests, and we'll take some action. And I think we'll be good to go, so we can devote our time to other important cases.
Been more than patient.
I think so. That's amazing, that is 3 years.
All right, so,
If you did that to Lisa can put that
Lisa
on.
can type this up.
Yeah.
and,
You
mail
know
this
this.
off.
Yeah, mail it off, to 'em, right.
Mail this off.
Good.
If you want, once you get it done, you can call me and
Should we sign all that?
I will, it's a letter from me.
Just from you?
Just him. Yeah, we're off the hook. We're off the hook.
That's good, you're going to jail.
That's right. Who's this Thurston guy?
You'll be doing GIMP in jail.
Oh,
What do we need?
on the, okay, so we're all done with that for tonight. Okay,
Yeah.
we have here a blank piece of paper. Blank piece of paper.
I already signed it, you notice?
Yes. What do you need? What do
It's
we?
the 40B rules that I retyped.
Yes. Oh, we have to authorize, sign off on it. Okay, good.
So why is there $1 million loan to it?
That's for the new computer.
That's the gotcha thing.
Oh, you weren't supposed to see that.
That's why I have these type of glasses on, they're not reading there.
That's
See
why
the hidden
Congress say they have
wording
to
that's in
approve
there.
a bill. In order to read it, they have to approve it.
See all the invisible print in there?
Well, doesn't that invisible ink disappear? You see it and then it goes away.
Really? See, why do I make it then?
I
Why
don't
do I
know.
do all this if you just want me to toss it?
Oh, that's not
What
here.
am I gonna do with it?
Okay.
Keep it in your audited
I need to file
file
it.
system.
Okay, so you really can't do anything until you get Nat's signature.
Right.
So call him up and tell him to get his butt over.
Okay, let's close the hearing.
Okay,
Any other business?
any other business?
I don't think
Here a
Lisa,
motion to
anything?
adjourn?
I'll second it, I'll make a motion and we adjourn.
so. All
All right,
All
no,
in
no,
favor?
that's good. I'm ready to say aye.
I was ready to go.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.